What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be telling you guys my opinion, what the cons are of being a flight attendant. So if this is something that you're interested in watching, then please keep on watching. Okay guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeanette and I am a flight attendant. I've been a flight attendant. It is going to be my 3-year anniversary in February. And I thought I would do a video because I always talk about how great my job is. I feel like I don't ever talk about what I think are the cons of my job. So I thought, why not make a video of it and explain what I think the cons are of being a flight attendant. So all of these things are going to be just basically what I think, in my opinion, are the cons of being a flight attendant. Some might agree, some might not agree. Like I said, it's my opinion. And yeah, so here we go. The first thing that I want to talk about are the crazy hours. So if you guys watch my vlogs, you know that I sometimes do not get any sleep. Sometimes I'll go to sleep at like midnight and then I'll get a call at 3 in the morning, so I'll only have like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and then I will get called for a really long day. And so, you know, I'm running on 3 hours of sleep. It gets rough. My body hates that. I get sick when I do that, but it does happen. This job is very unpredictable. It could be that you're doing 2 legs one day and then a flight cancels and all of a sudden now you're doing 4 legs. So for the most part, it is what you get, but there are some days where you can get something that is not what your trip originally was. So yeah, the hours are crazy. The time zones are also a part of this category, because if I have an AM that's in, let's say, New York. New York is East Coast time, so if I'm waking up at 4 in the morning, technically I'm waking up at 1 in the morning Cali time, because my body needs a few days to adjust to the different hours. So that all factors in, and it gets tiring sometimes. Also, what I mean by crazy hours is that, take this trip for example. So I'm doing this 2-day, and I started on the first day at 5 p.m. and I'm starting tomorrow at 7 a.m. So I mean, it's hard to adjust from either if it's AM the first day and then PM the next day, or PM the first day and AM the next day. Usually it's worse when it's PM and then you have to wake up early in the morning the next day. That's tough to get used to. The second thing on my list is this job could get somewhat costly. What I mean by that is, say for the people who do not live in base, now you have to factor in hotels or a crash pad for your reserve days when you don't get used, because like I've said in previous videos, the only time the company pays for a hotel is when you're on an actual trip. Technically, when you're on reserve and you don't get used, you're not on a trip, so you have to pay for your own hotels. If you get a crash pad, that's a monthly expense. You know, crash pads could be anywhere from $250 to $400 depending on the area and what city you're in. And then you have to factor in Ubers, because you got to get from either the hotel if they don't have a shuttle, or from your crash pad to the airport, and that all adds up. Also, eating out, if you don't prepare your own food bag, eating out also adds up. It's really expensive in hotels to eat. Their food is generally more expensive. I do Uber Eats sometimes, and that could get that adds up, because you're paying for the food, you're paying for the delivery fees, the tax, all that stuff. I mean, a $5 meal at McDonald's turns into a $10 meal. So that all adds up, and in the beginning it gets really hard trying to adjust to that and change your lifestyle around so that way you can cut costs and not spend so much money on things that you don't need to spend money on. Also, there are like little things, like if you're someone who doesn't spend money on like doing your nails, your eyebrows, doing your makeup, that could get costly too, because you do have to look presentable as a flight attendant, so you need to look somewhat good. So that gets costly also, the makeup and all that stuff, the hair products, everything that you need. Okay, I have 4% left of my camera. I hope it doesn't die. All right, let's go to the next one. It's easy to gain weight. You guys, this is the truest and the hardest thing about this job, is that it's so easy to gain weight, especially if you don't pack your own food bag. Oh my gosh. So right around the beginning, when I first got hired and I was still adjusting to everything, flight attendants told me like, okay, you're gonna gain a lot of weight in the beginning and you need to be careful how you eat out and stuff like that. And I was like, I'll be fine. I'll be okay. So the first 2 months I gained 20 pounds. I went from 120 to 140. It's insane. Like I didn't even realize it. And next thing you know, I'm weighing myself and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So it is very easy to gain weight. You eat a lot of junk. You eat a lot of the plane food, which is super salty. You get bloated. You drink the soda that's on the plane. Oh my God, it's a disaster. Don't drink the soda. When you get on the plane, as much as you want, as much as you start craving it, do not drink the soda. Okay, the next thing that I want to say, the next con is it could get lonely. Let's just say that. It could get lonely. Even me being in a relationship and constantly talking to Nick and having someone there, it still somewhat gets lonely because I'm in here by myself. There's nobody in here with me. And if it's a long overnight, and like for example, when I went to San Francisco and I had a 17-hour overnight there, I was in here by myself the whole time. If you don't communicate with the outside world, it could get pretty lonely. My first month working, okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. The first month is horrendous. It's horrible. It's horrible in adjusting to the cost. It's horrible in adjusting to the hours. It's horrible in adjusting to the schedule. It's just horrible. Like, I feel like I should list that as a con. Like, the con is your first month. So if you can make it past your first month, you're fine. It's the worst. It's the worst part of the job is the first month. So the first month I would get really upset and I would be homesick, and I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before to you guys, but it was just really hard adjusting to this new life. I was away from my family for the first time. I was away from Nick, and I was all the way in Baltimore, and I was lonely and I wanted to be home, and it was a new job and the schedule was crazy. My first trip I was delayed like 8 hours and I didn't know what to do, and it was just a mess. Like, it was a mess. But as long as you try really hard to just befriend everybody and keep in contact with your loved ones, it gets better, it gets easier, and it doesn't feel as lonely. But yeah, that's something to consider when you start this job, is that it could get lonely at times. Okay, this next one is like, okay, I can't even describe it. Okay, this next one is that you, as a flight attendant, you are exposed to every single type of cold or flu that exists in the United States. So any type of sickness, you're exposed to that. And you're on a plane and it's recircled air, so whatever 13E is coughing up over there, you're breathing that in. That's like the most disgusting, I think, part of this job, is that you're just exposed to all kinds of germs. People will blow their nose and set the napkin down on the tray table, and we don't wipe down the tray tables all day long, so whatever Joe Schmo snotted all over that thing is what you're getting on the next leg. So bring some hand sanitizer and sanitary wipes if you're a germaphobe, because it is disgusting on an airplane and there's just germs everywhere. And yeah, you're highly susceptible to a lot of sicknesses. So that is, I think that's a con, because I have had days where like my ears are, it feels like someone has a knife and is just stabbing me in my ears. Like I've had really bad earaches because of something I've caught from the plane. So if you're not careful and you're not clean and you don't wash your hands all the time, you could definitely get sick. Very likely that you will get sick. Okay, and the final con that I have on my list is, with this job, you put a lot of strain on your body. Let me explain. So take a 5-leg day. You're in the A position, so you're standing up front, greeting everybody. You stand up front, saying goodbye, good night. You're standing up there in your heels or your dress shoes. You have no time to take a break, no time to sit down. 5 legs. A 5-leg day is a 9 to 10 hour day, and you're on your feet all day long. And not to mention, you have a couple minutes to sit on the jump seat, and then you're on your feet again doing service. So it gets straining. It hurts my feet. By the end of the night, my feet hurt. My back aches from sitting on the jump seat. The jump seat's not comfortable at all. Yeah, you put a lot of strain on your body, not to mention the pressure going up and down in the airplane, the pressure on your ears, the strain on your feet, your back, your knees. It's a very straining job. And then on top of that, if you don't sleep right the night before, then you're really screwed the next day. So, I mean, that all, taken into account, is super straining on your body. Also, I think the possibility of getting sick, not eating right, lack of sleep, waking up in different time zones, being on your feet all day, that's all straining on your body. The fact that we're in heels and we're standing up on our feet all day, we're more susceptible to varicose veins. I already have a ton that are appearing on my thighs, and yeah, and my allergies are all crazy and wacky. And yeah, so that is it. That concludes my list. That is my idea of all the cons about being a flight attendant. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I gave you some insight to my job. I know I always say that I have the best job in the world, but with everything, with every positive about my job, there is a con. There is something that I don't like, and those are, I think, the biggest things that I don't like about my job. Anyways, guys, I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already. I appreciate you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Good night.